Sign-in number one is through the door for Ipswich Town then, and if the rumour mill is anything to go by, there could be a few more to follow. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Harvey Bell YouTube channel. It's been a little bit of a while since we've done one of these transfer update videos. As you can see, I'm not in my usual setup, but I needed to bring you this video with the news that has come today of Ipswich Town's first signing. We're going to talk about that, all the rumours that are happening, but before we do any of that, if you are new to the channel, please do press subscribe down below. Leave a like on the video and also tell me in the comment section how happy are you with signing number one and who else would you like to see us sign. I've referred to him as signing number one so far this video. His name is Anis Mehemti and he is signed from Bristol City. Okay then, an attacking midfielder slash left winger. Could be cover for Jack Clark and Jayden Philogene. Probably more likely to be seen in the number 10 role, covering for Marcelino Nunez, potentially Sam Schmodix. I don't know how high he is in the pecking order over those two, but he signed and he's been a creative player for Bristol City, scored 8 goals so far for them this season. He scored over 20 goals for them across the 3 seasons that he's played for them for. A player that is proven at this level, is a player that Kieran McKenna will look forward to working with. Another forward for Ipswich Town. I think Kieran McKenna spoke at a press conference last week and said that there was already 10 attackers in the building, so we are not short of attackers at the minute. We paid £3 million for him, which is a lot of money to spend on a player that is out of contract in the summer. He's only got 6 months left on his deal with the Robins, but it's obviously somebody that Mark Ashton and Kieran McKenna have identified that they wanted. They didn't want to take the risk in the summer of him going elsewhere. They've paid the money to bring him in now, and let's hope that he has an impact. I'm led to believe that he can play against Sheffield United at the weekend, which is big. He could hopefully have a really good start for us, make a massive impact. I'd imagine it would be from the bench, try and get a debut goal. No better way for an attacker to start their life in an Ipswich Town shirt. We'll wait and see how that develops. But I think the main one with this transfer is what it means for the club. And the first knock-on effect for me is Sam Schmodix. So it was only a couple of weeks ago that Sam Schmodix got his first goal at Portman Road. That came against Blackburn in a 3-0 win. And there has been rumours throughout this transfer window, more so before it, that Sam Schmodix could be leaving the club. Derby was mentioned as a potential destination for him. That hasn't materialised as yet, but I do wonder if this Anis Mehemti deal is paving the way for that to happen. And I want to specify, I wonder. I've got absolutely no reason to believe that is the case, but it's just the way that my mind is working. Those rumours have been floating about. I wonder if this is the way for Sam Schmodix to leave now that we've got Mehmeti as good cover for Marcelino Nunez, and maybe if he performs well to actually start week in, week out in that position. I get the impression so far this transfer window that Kieran McKenna has been reluctant to make too many changes. Any times that he's been asked about it, he's spoken about the strength that we already have in the current squad. It's taken him a fair while this season to get the players that we signed in the summer to click. I think they have clicked now. I think it's all starting to gel together a little bit. I think he's reluctant to bring too many players in and almost upset the apple cart, as it were. Mark Ashton promised that we'd be very active in January at the shareholders meeting last month. That doesn't surprise me. Ashton always says things like that. I'm not sure Kieran McKenna felt like that was the right thing to do. I'm not sure that Kieran McKenna wants too much change in the squad. And if I'm honest, I don't think we should have too much change in the squad. I think Metti is a solid signing. I don't think it's necessarily the most necessary signing we've made, but I'm not going to complain when we've had transfer windows where we've signed nobody and, you know, we've had to wait for other clubs to release players in the past and before this current regime at Ipswich Town, so I can't get too upset. But yeah, Anis Mehemti becomes the first signing for Ipswich Town, £3 million, and let's hope that he makes an impact. In terms of other transfer rumours, there was a thing going around Football League World earlier about us being linked with Imran Louza from Watford. He's their captain, centre midfielder, plays in the number 10 role, probably quite similar to Anis Mehemti as well. So I do wonder if that is potentially somebody that we were looking at, whether that happens now that the Metti deal has happened. I don't know. Also, was there anything in it in the first place? There's been a lot of transfer rumours regarding Ipswich Town coming from Football League World so far this transfer window, and not many of those have materialised. Louza is somebody that I spoke about at the start of the window in my 5 players Ipswich Town should sign in January video. He's a player that I identified as being a good fit for Ipswich Town and somebody that I would have liked to have gone for. but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's any truth to that. That's just somebody that I thought would be quite good. But Football League World, anyway, are reporting that is something that is potentially being spoken about. It's up to you how much you choose to believe that. Otherwise, there's been a couple of links this week. One to James Ward-Prowse. I'll talk about that one a little bit. I don't want to give it too much credit because I really didn't like the way that was spoken. I think the report read, it said that Ipswich Town could be a potential destination for James Ward-Prowse. Now, to me, that says absolutely nothing. That is saying that Ipswich Town could be a potential destination for James Ward-Prowse. Well, so could anywhere. That's not saying that Ipswich Town are interested in James Ward-Prowse. That's not saying that James Ward-Prowse wants to come to Ipswich. That is merely saying that Ipswich Town could be somewhere for James Ward-Prowse to go. And to me, that isn't a transfer rumour, and therefore not one that I want to go on about too much, especially when Jack Taylor and Jens Kajus are fighting for that second midfield role next to Metti and doing a terrific job at the moment. I don't think we need to strengthen in that position. James Ward-Prowse isn't a player that I think Ipswich Town need to sign at the moment. I hope that one doesn't happen. Wish James Ward-Prowse all the best in his career because he's a player that I've liked over the years, but he is not the right fit for Ipswich Town at the moment. But that's all really. Still not much in the way of a striker. I know Ipswich Town fans are desperate for a striker. The only thing I'd say in regards to a striker at the minute is earlier in the window we were linked with Lyndon Dykes and Patrick Bamford, two strikers with championship experience. Both of them now have championship clubs. Bamford is obviously still with Sheffield United. Lyndon Dykes has joined Charlton. I want us to sign a striker as much as the next Ipswich Town fan. But if we need to sign a striker, it needs to be a striker that is better than what we already have. And Lyndon Dykes, Patrick Bamford don't fit that bill for me personally. None of those are better than George Hurst. I think Ivan Azon is okay as a third choice. Akpom as a second choice, I think is okay playing in the number 9. I've said it before that I don't think he's a number 10, but if he's played as an outright striker, I think he's perfectly okay as a backup and could probably push Hurst for the starting role. So as much as I would like to see us sign a new striker, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying for a second that I don't want us to sign a new striker. I want it to be a striker that is better than what we already have, because I don't think there's a lot wrong with George Hurst, Chuba Akpom and Ivan Azon in rotation. I think they've all got something to offer at this club. Ivan Azon had a brilliant game midweek against Bristol City. Chuba's got a couple of goals this season. Hurst hasn't been in the best of form, but has got 5 goals this season and has had an injury. So if they can all get fire and all get a bit of form behind them, then I think we've got a really good strike force there. Not a perfect one that can be improved on, but certainly one that is not to be sniffed at either. So that is the end of this little transfer roundup, just talking about a few rumours that have been floating around. And obviously, the first signing of the window that is absolutely 100% confirmed, which is Anis Mehemti. So jump into the comment section, tell me what you make of all of those rumours, tell me how you feel about Anis Mehemti joining. Otherwise, get your score predictions in for Sheffield United. Thank you so much for watching, and keep on keeping on.